Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus once again, guys, giving you defensive breakdowns. A scheme I've been using online, it's been causing rage quits, and it really just helps me make my defense where it's a problem to my opponent and not something where his offense is a problem to me. So I do want to let you know that I've been running the scheme recently, having really good success with it, getting rage quits, but this guy in the second half starts adjusting to my defense and starts effectively attacking it. So we're going to watch what he does to basically adjust to my defense. And what it does is it kind of takes you out of being a greedy defensive player. With this particular scheme, you have pressure that's going to come in, and basically because of the pressure, it gets your opponent like really on a clock where he's going to try to get rid of the ball or try to lob the balls up. So we're going to show you a couple different weaknesses of this defense. In this particular gameplay, I've already went up by a score. I'm setting this up. I like for my first audible just to put in the cover one hole. I really haven't used it a lot since I started the scheme, but I'm going to have to go ahead and start planning that. Overstorm Brave, and basically I like to go ahead and switch it out for the man version of it, which is the Bucko. And then I'm going to start playing around with this, but I'm thinking maybe I'm going to go with the Crossfire version of this, where it's going to basically have a safety defender in the middle, and you have like the Crossfire off to the left. So I might play around with that as my cover 3 audible, but I did have match set up. And then one of the other audibles I use is Hard Flats. That's good against the run, but I might jump into cover 6 and just have that in my back pocket. So right here, go ahead and set the blitz up. So all I'm doing is showing blitz. I'm blitzing all, and I'm just using a middle linebacker. And just seeing how my opponent basically attacks it. He goes with basically a stretch play, and because I've got this guy into a deep quarter, he actually fell back into a basically a zone, and he didn't really attack the run. So this guy really learned he knows how to use his running back in a scheme. You're going to see him coming back to Breece Hall a lot. So second and inches type of situation. I figured he's going to run the ball once again based on his play selection. So I'm going to still come out of the cover 4 quarters. He goes in a close formation. And I think what I did is basically I did go with basically a very heavy man blitz. He does play action against me, and he actually checks it down to the flat. So this guy hits flats, and that's the weakness of this defense if you blitz on a regular basis. The flats are going to be wide open unless you play hard, basically a cover 2 type hard flat out there, which basically will open up the middle of the field. So that when you play this defense, you have to basically make sure you let your opponent know that you can blitz him at any time, but you really don't want to blitz too much. Right here, it's a first and 10 situation. He's motioning the guy over. He's got a close formation. So I'm assuming it's going to be a stretch. So the reason why I jumped into cover 2 is that this guy's going to play a run fit, and he's going to get down into the blocking area to kind of mug up that area. So right here, I'm actually on the back side. You can see that guy mugs up and gets into that grill of that blocker, and he's got really nowhere to go with it. So that's why you have those hard flats in there, so you can take away these stretch runs, because no one's really going to run in the middle because it's a very intimidating front. So right here I jump into basically cover 4. I tried to put this guy into a deep third, but I actually had him into a deep half, and that's not necessarily a good thing because he's going to give up the middle of the field. But you can see the pressure comes off the edge right there, and I'm able to go ahead and get some pressure against him. Now he goes into gun trips offset. And once again, I go ahead and show basically the same type of a blitz look, but I'm going to go ahead and use this backside right here. And I know these guys are going to get matched up. This is my weakness of this defense. So what I want to do is do this side, because if he sees this guy fall down, he's going to see if he's going to try to pop this area. And if I'm mugging this gap right here, I can slide over into the passing lane. So you watch where I'm doing the opposite side right here. I've got a seam flat. I've got a deep third. I got another deep third, another deep third in this type of situation. So you really can't lob over the top of me. But I just have to defend the middle of the play. He slides this guy over, so he tries to go with a 2x2 set right here. So I'm not really going to be worried about Wilson too much. I'm still thinking that he's going to try to come after. So he sees the pressure coming in with this, and he sees the opening of the defense, and that's where I've got to recover. I've got to cover back up and you can see he throws it right to my user, and as a result I get a pick. So when the rare instances I actually get a user pick against him, that's just because I'm setting up the pressure and he has to get rid of the ball quick. He doesn't have much of a choice. This guy wanted to run a lot of 5 wide receivers, didn't block, max protect against me, so that kind of gave me an advantage. Now he jumps into gun, trips, a tight end offset. This particular offense is going to be a little bit better because you've got those trip sides. You've got 3 wide receivers over here. You've got your tight end, your running back. So it's going to force a situation. If you blitz this guy off the edge, one of these 3 guys are going to be wide open. So it's really smart to go ahead and use this type of a defense against your opponent. Or use this type of offense against your opponent if you're using this type of defense. But for some particular reason, I don't think he blocked his tight end. This is a verticals play. The tight end should be coming across, and it should be wide open. But since it's not wide open, you can see that these guys are all carrying, and I carry right there. He can't check it down to the running back because there's a defender right there under the running back. So he doesn't really have anywhere to go with it, and as a result, I get a coverage sack against him. So because his tight end did not do his drag route, he didn't have anywhere to release the ball, and basically, because of the cover 4 shell, I'm able to go ahead and stop him. So 2nd and 10 situation, once again, show the blitz. Now I'm going to go with basically hard flats, and I think I didn't like the coverage. I wanted to make sure these guys came up a little bit, so I might have adjusted into basically cloud flats. But he's got like a heavy run type set. So I'm anticipating he might try to run the ball just to get a little bit short of a distance. And you can see he does. And look, my guy just shoots the gap and gets the ball in the end zone or in the backfield there. So 3rd and 13 situation, he goes into doubles offset. I show again the blitz once again, but I don't press my guys down because I don't want to try to give up the over the top. And basically what I do is I still show the pressure, and the pressure comes off the edge. But because I didn't press my guys down, that kind of messed up his timing a little bit. And you can see the rare instance, already down by 7, he punts the ball off. Now, he's getting the ball in the second half. So, you know, potentially, and he actually had pretty good clock management. Potentially, if he scores and then gets the ball in the second half, he can tie the game and actually make a game out of it. So I come back once again with the pressure. And he's got basically a situation where he's got, you know, a 2-by-2 set with the wide receivers, and he got his running back. My responsibility is going to be the running back, but I want to make sure I just send the pressure against him with this particular defense, because if someone's coming in, if he blocks his running back, and if he doesn't block his running back, and he sends this guy out, he doesn't do that. So now what he does is he basically makes an adjustment. He does a 3-by-2. Or 3-by-1 basically. So I'm in kind of a bind because I have to take on this responsibility as an inside receiver because this guy's is matching, this guy's matching. I don't really have anybody to do this. So the smart thing to do would be to basically take this guy and man him up on the running back, so you can still have that, so I can still come over and match Wilson over the middle of the field and take away this, because look what happens. I go ahead and take away his read. I'm running over the read over here, but he's got like an angle route on the backside with Breece Hall, so he basically stretched me vertically. So how do you defend against a heavy blitz defense? Is that you want to go ahead and stretch people vertically in that type of situation. And that's what he did. He had 2 different options. Wherever I went, he went to the different option. He went to the opposite option. So he decided to start attacking the flats, and that's really, really smart. Now, granted, I'm already in a situation where I'm actually up by 2 scores, so I'm kind of driving the situation here. I go with another defense right here. I'm probably the smart thing to do is to go ahead and man match this tight end over here in this type of situation, and then come after the running back. But he goes ahead and attacks the running back in a flat because I didn't match it, and as a result, he's able to go ahead and pick up another first down. So what he started doing is that instead of me actually and basically just attacking the flats, he would just take those flats underneath. I went ahead and did hard flats out here, hard flats. This is a deep half. This is a deep half. My responsibility is to get back in the middle of the field against the 3 wide receiver, and I get myself out of position, and as a result, he's able to go ahead and get a nice touchdown right there. So that was my responsibility. You could say I was running to it. I just couldn't get to it. and he make a really good read. And using the 3x2 sets or 3x1 sets, that's essentially what's going to basically go ahead and force these, stretch this defense horizontally and allow you to basically attack your opponent in the seam. So he goes to single back tight offense right here. I go into basically a cover 3 shell. I use it right here. What I was planning to do is basically go with hard flats in these tight sets, and then I was going to man up this guy and man up this guy to the outside and just play the middle of the field. But I didn't get everything set up correctly. It's just I'm used to playing over, so my adjustments were a little bit off. So it was a bad adjustment for me. But you could see he actually goes ahead and tries to throw it right over the middle of the field. I'm right here to go ahead and get it. And look what I do. I pull myself in position, and Mike Williams gets down. So that could have been another interception if I would have just played better smart man, better stick. But he's able to go ahead and get that off. So right here, come back to, I think I'm in a cover 2 shell. Basically the cover 2's got this all locked up. He does have the sideline, but he doesn't throw it. I guess he didn't see that one route. And right here, I just send the dogs after him. I get a coverage sack against him for a no gainer. So second and 10 situation, and I got my guys out of position. I don't know what defense is set up, but you can see I'm actually in a defensive tackle. That's not where I want to be. I want to be in those middle linebackers, and I got myself in a position, but he still checks it down and takes yards. It gets a broken tackle and gets a third and 4 out of a play. So it was a really good decision for him to go to verticals, and he was having a lot better time doing verticals with that one guy. So now I actually go into a crossfire defense, but I don't think I set it up correctly. Yeah, the blitz comes in. This is not what I want. He checks it down with a little stop route and picks up a 4th and inches. Comes out of a goal line defense right here. I try to go ahead and just do the all-out blitz and put myself in the gap, but he is able to go and pick it up. I probably should have went into like a 52 defense or something a little bit heavier. So right here, once again, I go back into the blitz, set this up, and I'm just going to go basic coverage. He actually throws right over the middle of the field, but because I've got basically a quarter that's playing a wide receiver 1 responsibility, and the other guy does not go vertical, my safety is able to go ahead and pick him off and get another reception. So this is basically donezo for this guy in the game, because when I score again, I go for a 2-point conversion. I'm basically up by 3 possessions against this guy. Even though he started showing that he was settling down, he was taking the attempts down in the middle. And sometimes what you want to do, you come into a game, you want to play certain coverages, and as a result, you might get yourself behind the 8 ball. And if you go down by a couple scores and you're in the third quarter down by 3 possessions, you're kind of in a hard situation. So right here, I start playing cover 4 drop. Usually in these type of situations where they score a lot, I'm going to play cover 4 drop. You can see right here he gets tackled for basically 3 yards. He needs big chunks of yards. He needs to move the ball down the field effectively. So he goes in single back trio. I'm going to set this up once again. Press all my guys in cover 4. I'm going to man up that 3rd wide receiver. So that's just another responsibility that I don't have to really worry about. And I'm going to be looking for the underneath route. He takes Williams and moves him over off to the right. So he motioned his one guy over right here. And he actually chucks it down to like the sideline. He doesn't get anything out of that. So a 3rd and 7 situation, I think what I do is I do just cover 4 drop, show him the blitz once again. He motions this guy over, and I'm kind of in a bind. I don't really have, I've got to kind of like just kind of pressure, but you can see the pressure comes off, and he's trying to stretch vertically, and as a result, he gets himself in a situation. So right here, I go with the match coverage, show the blitz, and here's the problem with match. If you've got basically a 3-on-1 type situation, this guy's going to meg up, and he's going to press. So if you got a 3-on-1 situation, you should take this guy, put him into a 3rd or a deep half or something, but you don't want to leave him in his quarters, because I'm going to show you what's going to happen in this type of situation. Look how this guy just gets toasted. So he presses it. This is wide open. There's no protection over the top. I think he basically max protects, and as a result, he's able to go ahead and get a touchdown against me. So that was just kind of a bad situation on what I did. But I just want to kind of show you that, you know, when you are running against this type of odd defense, the weaknesses of defense is if the guy's blitzing a lot and he's actually trying to hit you with pressure and he's getting greedy, he wants to use pressure. Sidelines, outs, fast flats, those are kind of areas that you want to go ahead and attack. And eventually what's going to happen is those next level routes will actually open up for you. If he's using quarters, try to get 3 wide receivers on one side and 1 wide receiver on the other side. A lot of times that single wide receiver will actually go ahead and beat that. So guys, if you like this type of stuff, make sure you hit the like button. Also, guys, a lot of you guys do watch my videos, are not subscribed. Do me a solid. Go ahead and hit basically subscribe if you haven't done so already. And also, guys, let me know how you use, what plays you use to beat these heavy blitz pressures like the mid blitz or basically this odd defense. So once again, thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.